Hi there, I'm Brad. Welcome to the Bristol Show 2025. I am joined by the best hair in show, Dan from Audio Notes.
Glad you think so. Yeah, thank you.
I don't think so. I know so. It's just stunning.
It's it's a lot of maintenance.
I can imagine. Yeah, but it brings me so much joy seeing you walk around the show, and it just sort of it bounces along with you. It's just beautiful.
It's an essential part of my look.
And it works. But apart from your hair, which we could talk about in great length, you're here for Audio Note,
Of course.
which some viewers might not know. But so tell us a little bit about Audio Note.
So, Audio Note was founded in 1991 by my father, we're a company that we have quite a wide product range.
Yep.
Owing to the fact that we essentially make every part of an audio system that you might need. So that goes from the tip of the cartridge, all the way up through to the speakers.
Now I've been to the factory, and you're making capacitors and everything, aren't you?
In that respect as well, we even make many of our own internal components. We have our own range of resistors, capacitors, and
It's an
also
impressive
transformers.
setup. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of work, but we enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I think this is it. Having met your dad and been to his house and to the listening room, which is possibly one of the most impressive setups going. Like, he joked once that he set up a hi-fi company just so he could write off the purchase of vinyl.
I mean, it's a good argument for having a huge record collection, definitely.
And he's got stacks, but when we were listening through the setup, 1 minute it's like smooth jazz, and then a bit of classical, and then it's like Norwegian death metal. He's got a very eclectic taste.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was very hard for me to rebel against that. So I had to go to much more extreme fringes. But no, my dad's always had a very wide appetite for music, and really that's where it all stems from. He felt that there weren't systems kind of performing well with all these styles and accommodating such a variety. He's fascinated by music history as well.
Yeah.
And he's very open-minded. He used to go to Slipknot concerts with me when I was growing up.
You cannot rebel against that band.
No, he's the original in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the thing that always gets me about Audio Note is you sort of buck the trend, really, because a lot of people get really het up with like wattage, and they look at the facts and the figures, and they don't focus on the performance or the sound. If we looked on it paper, a lot of your speakers are very they're sort of low wattage, well, the amplifiers, but the performance is massive.
Yeah, well, my father's always, he's always based the products he's developed on what he thinks sounds best.
Yeah.
And he's never really gone for trends or anything like that.
No.
This is where he's always found great benefit in high sensitivity speakers and relatively low output valve amplification.
Yeah.
And
even your speakers, am I right in saying they can all be up against the walls? Because it's...
Well, again, this is, we go against the grain in a few respects. And, the people are slowly sort of becoming more aware that this is how we've designed our equipment. To essentially work close to the room boundaries. They're rear ported, so it gives it a little... it actually uses the corner or the back wall to its advantage.
Yeah, it uses it as a baffle to reflect the bass. Because the bass response on those speakers is ridiculous.
It's surprising. I mean, just this morning, we've already had, a very common question, which is, are we using a subwoofer? To which the answer is, if you can find one in our room, you can take home the system.
Yeah,
the system comes free.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? You guys. again, going back to your dad's house, like listening to the stuff there, I would have sworn there was a subwoofer. You know, it is an incredible performance.
Yeah, well, I mean, particularly, you know, it surprises people. You know, it's an 8-watt amplifier, but you play something like. My dad's really gotten into like psytrance recently. So,
of course, that's the logical step. Yeah.
You know, he's 76, so he keeps investigating new stuff. So, you know, it's and as I say, it surprises people what 8 watts will do.
Yeah.
And as I say, this is kind of this was always one of my father's goals, was that he wanted a system that would perform well irrespective of what kind of music you're playing.
Yeah.
It's really, you know, most people have pretty varied tastes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, to have a specific system for every type of music,
it's impractical.
Impractical in most circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, you're very much the face of the business now. Your dad's still involved, but
it's a gentle crossover. Really.
Yeah.
You know, my father's still energetic, still active, and you know, my mother as well. You know, my mother's always been there behind the scenes, keeping things going at the factory. And I should also give a shout out to my sister, who's my partner in crime.
Yeah.
Now to carry Audio Note into the future.
So what can we expect from Audio Note moving forward?
So, I mean, really, my sister and I, we certainly want to maintain the philosophy of Audio Note.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a few new projects on the way that we're excited to, we're hoping come out this year. But here at this show, we're actually we're demonstrating our new field coil speakers, which, it's actually a good year for this because it's actually the 100th anniversary of the moving coil speaker.
There we go. 100
hence
years.
Hence the little illustration.
Ah, there we go. He's brought.
I don't know if the if the camera can see that.
You might get it on this one here, actually.
It's a courtesy of Kellogg and Rice. They patented the first moving coil speaker design back in 1925.
Wow, there you go.
So they've really many speaker designs that we use today, it all goes back to
It all comes back from that. And I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? That technology is 100 years old and we're still using it today.
Well, this is the interesting thing. So at the time, the field coil. Are you familiar with the field coil? I don't know if
our viewers might not be. So
back in the 1920s, permanent magnet technology wasn't what it is today. It hadn't really developed where you could have an affordable permanent magnet.
Yeah.
So the better option at the time was field coils. So essentially electromagnets. So a coil around a pole piece that you energize from an electric current, and that generates the magnetic field. As permanent magnet technology developed, it became cheaper and cheaper. It became more affordable. First came Alnicos. So Alnico magnets then became a little more widely used.
Yep.
And then comes ferrites, and then neodymiums, and largely field coils got left behind because they actually became more expensive essentially to produce. But my father, having listened to a huge variety of audio equipment throughout his life, he always had an interest in the presentation of the field coil. He always felt there was a certain presentation there that was very unique to its design. And this is where during COVID, we decided to try and develop our own field coil drivers, which we're now making in-house. So that was a project between one of our chief engineers, Andy Grove, and and Andy Whittle, who also came in to help with that. He's so it was quite a long and expensive project.
Yeah.
It took us about 5 years to develop that. And there's quite a few hurdles to overcome in terms of the design, but they they cracked it, and that's what we're showing here today.
Brilliant. And so obviously it's an older technology, but you say you've refined it and you've modernized it, and do you think that outperforms any of your other conventional speaker systems? Or
we'd say so. I mean, and it, again, so this makes the model that it sits in is in our A&E speaker. So the A&E is now an interesting example where it's perhaps the only speaker ever made where you can hear it with ferrite magnets or Alnico magnets and now field coil. So you can actually compare those magnet technologies.
Right.
So our range really starts with the ferrites being the more affordable magnet technology. We still get a very good result out of them. And this is, probably the most popular magnet material used in the audio world, as far as I'm aware. Above that, we then have the Alnicos, and now at the top of the range, this is where the field coils come in, and their performance really is quite special.
I'll hopefully get a chance to come upstairs and have a listen.
Absolutely. If nothing else, but to celebrate, the 100th anniversary.
I'll come up, party poppers, streamers, we'll get cake.
We'd expect no less.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to listen to these speakers yourself and you can't make it to the show, Audio T Reading has the full range of audio note equipment. They're a sort of flagship for you guys, aren't they? They have everything down there at Reading.
Well, we've got a pretty big range, but they've got a good selection.
Good
there.
selection,
And we're not too far. We're just down the road from.
Do you still have the listening room in Brighton?
We still have the famous listening room.
Yeah, it's great. It looks like a second-hand shop from the front window.
That's it.
And then you go in, and it's just walls of records.
It's the overspill of my father's collection.
Oh, is that it? It's
so,
like the second backup.
It's it's a location of mystery to most people in the area.
Yes, absolutely.
When they look at the window, they can only imagine what's inside.
It's very unassuming. Like it's the sort of thing you'd walk past day in, day out, and have no idea what goes on inside.
That's it's kind of what we like.
That's how we like it.
Low profile.
Absolutely. Dan, thank you so much for joining me today and educating myself and the world about the field coil speakers. Be sure to go and have a listen, and I look forward to seeing what comes from Audio Note. Maybe next year we might have something new. Who knows?
Oh, certainly.
Some
good
special
stuff coming.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brad.
Take care. See you later, guys.
Thank you.